107.7 The Wolf, this is Mike in the afternoon.
That's it up for Welshie and Keithy Boys Saturday Club for this week.
107.7 The Wolf with Keithy on the radio.
107.7 The Wolf.
107.7 The Wolf was established in 1997, and really the station grew out of a perceived demand for a radio station that was intrinsically local, that just covered the Wolverhampton area. In this area there are quite a few radio stations. It's perhaps outside of London the second most competitive area in the country in terms of radio. It was decided that a local radio station that served purely Wolverhampton and the needs of the local people here was extremely important. We inject a lot of personality into the station. We don't put the reins that a lot of other radio groups put on their presenters. We allow them not quite free rein, but we allow them to be as creative as they want to be, but most importantly to inject personality, because radio should be a fun thing.
This is daft because this is Snakes and Ladders now on the radio, right? As if by magic. Snakes and Ladders. Hello, Lisa. Lisa's through on Snakes and Ladders. You understand the rules, dear? Because I know it's difficult, and I know what people from Burntwood are like. Could do with something to shake this thing for. He said with a smile on his face. 5, and you ain't hit a snake or anything yet. 2, you're up to 39. You're up to 39, Lise. Guess what you've just done? Wait for it. Oh, thanks, Lise. Ta-ra, get off. She's won absolutely nothing. Never mind. We'll do it again tomorrow about 11:30, alright? Somebody's got to win something.
One of the cornerstones of our output is undoubtedly our exclusive deal with Wolverhampton Wanderers to provide the exclusive commentary rights to all of their games, both home and away. We're the only radio station that has that deal. We provide, as we say ourselves, every kick of every game, both home and away, and that's a 5-year deal that we have with the club.
That's it up for Welshie and Keithy Boys Saturday Club for this week. Keith's back again on Monday with the breakfast show at 6 o'clock. It's time now to go out into the stadium for the second time today and join our commentary team of Bill Hatton and Pete Moody for match coverage of Wolves against Stockport County. Good afternoon, Pete.
Okay, thanks very much then, Steve. It's the Wolves against Stockport County. Kick off in about 35 minutes time. Join us for the whole game live on Wolverhampton's 107.7 The Wolf.
Music is something that people often ask me, how is that scheduled on the station? That's not something that we allow the presenters have free rein over. What we do is we have the music selected by a computer software called Selector, which most radio stations use. Our head of music, Mike Zeller, works on that each day. He sets the parameters in the computer, and then the computer selects the music.
We decide what new music we want to put on the system. When we've done that, we put it all into this computer, which is called Selector, and basically you can give Selector various instructions as to how it's going to schedule the music for you. You could tell it where, for example, to schedule an 80s song, maybe where to schedule a current song, a 7 with a variety, what have you. Once all of that's done, I then send the music over as a file from here to the DAD system in the studio. When the songs arrived in the studio, every presenter would go to all the playlists that we have and select their specific music for their specific day. So today's Tuesday. I would come down, I would find Mike Tune, which is the file name there. I would hit load. All the music is ready for me to play today, and then once the show started, all I have to do is hit play.
Sits down once a week with the program controller to formulate the playlist. Now the playlist is the list of songs from the current scene, as it were, which are played on the station. We're not as top 40 intensive as other stations, so we very much play just the cream of what's in the charts at the moment. We don't necessarily play the current number 1. If it's not suitable to our target audience, well then we don't play it.
Alright, new song, Melanie C, Lisa Left Eye, Lopez, guesting on it.
Alright then.
I think A1 for that, I think we can play that daytime. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Right, I'll stick that there.
News is extremely important to us because any station can play the sorts of music that we play, but what really sets us apart from our competitors is our ability to be so local. We are very fortunate to have a deal with the Express and Star, which is the big local newspaper in the town, and I think is one of the biggest regional daily newspapers in the UK. And we effectively have access to their stories before they are published. So we have a computer link here which links straight into the Express and Star newsroom, and our journalists can pull off stories once they've been filed and, as they say, subbed at the Express and Star. We also have a unique ISDN link with the news editor of the Express and Star every day. He joins our afternoon presenter Mike Zeller at around about 2:30 to talk about the stories that are in the news and making the news that day.
107.7 The Wolf, this is Mike in the afternoon. Time to cross now to the headquarters of the Express and Star. Waiting for us is John Bray. Afternoon, sir.
Hello Mike, how are you?
Now then, what's the first story you've got for us this afternoon?
One of the things that we have achieved very successfully here at 107.7 The Wolf is multitasking. And all of our presenters, for example, have a dual function. They have a second role to play on the station, so they don't just come and present their programme and then go. Our afternoon presenter Mike Zeller, for example, is our head of music. Our programme controller Tim Page also presents the 80s jukebox each evening, and he's a journalist by background originally, so he also works in the news side of the business as well. Regularly the programme controller sits down with each presenter individually, usually on a weekly basis, to go through a tape of one of their programmes and look at not just the areas that could be improved, but also the points that are quite strong, and to flag up those. So it's important to be continuously giving feedback to presenters.
I think all that's working quite well. Anything you can think of?
Lots of new callers coming up.
Good.
And at least one new caller each day, which means, you know, they tend to say you get one caller for every XYZ new listeners, don't you?
Yeah.
That's what they told me anyway.
Well, that's sounding good. Super. Brilliant. Same time, same place next week.
We've got a sales director and a programme controller. The two of those and myself sit down once a week for a weekly management meeting, at which we effectively make the decisions for the station. Currently we're considering running an advertising campaign in a local publication. I spoke, I think I mentioned to both of you on Friday, something along the lines of, you know, for the cost of this advert you can have 5 30-second commercials per day for 8 days on the Wolf.
Well,
No,
why don't we have 3 20-second commercials for a month or whatever?
Now, it would have been very easy for me to make the decision and just go ahead and run an advert, but as I say, part of that team effort, I think it's crucial that the other members of the management team have input into that. So the wording of that advert was decided by all three of us as a team.
Kate Bush and Wuthering Heights. I don't like that record. It goes on too long. It's much too old. I've had enough of this album. I'm glad it's over now. Had enough. I'm going home. What's this thing here?